We really don't know how some of Nikola's closest allies are going to respond to this news. What is going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. It is almost the weekend, and I am super excited about that just because it's like, I don't know, this week has seemed super freaking long. I don't know if it's the changing in temperature or like what is going on, but this week has just drug on and on and on, and the markets have been all over the place. So before we get into that, I gotta say thank you for all the support, and if you haven't dropped a like or considered leaving a sub, please do so. We are doing a giveaway once we get to 250 subscribers for an Amazon gift card, and the qualifications to get entered in to win are to both drop a like and sub. So if you've done that, sit back and let's get into some Nikola updates. So Nikola had a really good day yesterday. They outpaced the markets. They were up about 9%, and today they shot out of the gate really strong. Saw intraday's high up around like $27, which for me, I was like, oh my gosh, because I sold my stake of Nikola right around, I think it was like $25, $26. So to see it get back up above where I sold, I'm like, it's annoying, because to me, the fundamentals, if anything, have gotten a lot worse, and there's no reason that they should be climbing back as aggressively as they are the past like 2 weeks, really. I mean, they have shed a bunch of the losses. They're up like 40% since their lows at $17. A big head scratcher for me. But there is some news that I think we need to keep our eyes on if you're interested in Nikola, or just whether you want to get into Nikola, whether you're considering shorting Nikola, buying Nikola, like whatever. But there's several key dates here in the future that you should be keeping your eyes on. And one of those is November 30th. So now what is really big about November 30th is this is the day where a lot of the lockups and restrictions as far as individuals being able to sell shares expire. So once we get to November 30th, partners like Bosch and some of the other companies that Nikola has been partnering with, as well as employees maybe have stock options or anything like that, that is the day, it seems, where they are going to be able to sell. Now, why is this a big deal, right? Well, because it is essentially forced, people like Bosch or anybody who may have shares of the company who hasn't been able to trade, they haven't been able to trade off of the news or sell, given all the Hindenburg news, all the question marks, Trevor Milton leaving. So we really don't know how some of Nikola's closest allies are going to respond to this news. Are they going to see basically an opportunity to, cash out? Because a lot of them probably got in around $10 a share. So, if they sold right now, they'd, more than double their money. So that would probably be a win for them. But it's going to let us have an inside view of how their partners really view them. Are they confident in what is going to be happening here in the next several months or a couple years? I don't know. So to me, it's really interesting to see what is going to happen November 30th, how their partners react. And it really would not surprise me at all if you saw a lot of selling going on, because like I said, a lot of people got in at prices a lot lower than the current levels. So they're going to take profits. And then maybe if you don't see the selling, then I would take that as absolutely a positive sign. And maybe by then they will have announced that deal with, General Motors fully and actually signed on the dotted line where they actually become partners. And, you have the two big dates. You have November 30th where everybody can kind of sell shares who hasn't been allowed to yet. But then you've got December 3rd, which is where the two parties, Nikola and General Motors, can walk away from any deal that they have right now, but they haven't officially signed, and they can walk away without penalty. So, those are both dates that are really close together, and they are definitely going to be drivers of the stock price in the short term, but also a strategic partnership with General Motors would absolutely help Nikola in the long term. So if you see either a lot of selling coming into or right after November 30th, I should say, and they don't come to a deal or anything like that, a put option may be pretty nice on Nikola Motors, because the volatility is continuing to stick around. Like I mentioned yesterday, volume and trading volume is one thing you can look at a lot of times with a company. And Nikola, their volume and level of trading the past few days or past few weeks has actually been very low compared to their average rolling 3-month volume. So that basically tells me that, people are coming in and either, it's not too many individual investors. It's basically one or two institutions coming in on any given day and saying, okay, we're going to buy or we're going to sell. And that's really why you see the share price, have these really big swings on certain days. Like yesterday, 9%. To me, there was really nothing to action that at all. If anything, you just continue to have more question marks and things, that you essentially need confirmation on before you get in and even think about investing in Nikola. So to me, I don't see why there was any reason for the market or really Nikola to bounce as much as it did yesterday. In general, and that's going to be it for the Nikola updates, but I do want to challenge you guys. If you guys are not currently, looking at all about the, political environment or upcoming election, I would challenge you to do so, because the two separate parties do have a lot of different things that they're going to be pushing for. A lot of people have different views on how that's going to impact the market and stuff like that. Definitely a Democrat sweep, essentially, where they win the presidency, they keep Congress, and then they take over the Senate. That is going to be a lot different as far as policies and things they're going to be pushing than if Donald Trump was to be reelected and Republicans were able to hold the Senate. So just keep in mind this. Markets are reacting a little bit today to the presidential, or not the presidential, but the vice presidential debates. Obviously, Democrats are considering pushing a lot more of green initiatives. You just saw it basically in general with the questions around climate change and stuff like that. The two sides are very different on this. And companies like Nikola, Tesla, Helion, these alternative energy companies that are essentially really trying to put out of business, Exxon, BP, all these companies that really produce fossil fuels, any Democrat sweep is really going to benefit these companies. So it wouldn't shock me if, Democrats did clean house in the election, if you were able, if you did see a massive, buying of companies like Nikola, Tesla, Helion, NIO. NIO is, I don't even know what that noise was that just came out of I was like, ugh. But NIO is Chinese, so that probably is not going to be impacted too much by our election. But even if the fundamentals of these a lot of environmental or green companies aren't very good, you're going to see investors absolutely flood, because if they start pushing legislation or rules or deadlines or anything like that, as far as you can't be driving my 1998 Toyota anymore because it pollutes the earth too much. But guess what, guys? It's what's saving me a lot of money, and no car payment's pretty freaking nice. To where you could take that extra dough and put it in the market or save or put a larger down payment on a home or like whatever. So, there's two sides to every story. Pollution's bad, right? But if you tell me I'm not allowed to drive my 1998 Avalon, I'm going to be pretty freaking pissed. And it's like, well, why can I not drive that when, that's my smart personal finance decision to, save and not go out and buy the latest and greatest, and then put all that money I have into the stock market or, into a home where, you're building your personal wealth, and your equity and stuff like that. So just something to think about. And I would certainly challenge you and implore you to stay involved and stay an educated citizen, not only in the stock market, but external factors absolutely impact the stock market. So don't get too wrapped up in, individual stocks and get too honed in and focused and forget that there are a lot of external factors that really impact, like big tech, really the big four. You've got Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Google, right? Democrats are pushing big antitrust legislation that is potentially going to break up these companies. And if that was the case, if you have, a major stake in Apple or Google or any of those companies, and they come in and they're broken up because of antitrust law, you're going to take a massive hit in your portfolio, and it's going to sting. Absolutely, it's going to sting. So me having 30% of my portfolio in Apple, I'm a little nervous. I don't want Apple to get broken up. I want them to continue to dominate. And as a consumer, and my personal view is, these companies, yes, they are essentially kind of a monopoly, if you will, but they're not really, because they all compete with each other. And really, when you think about it, we are getting an excellent product at a really low price. I mean, think about Amazon. Really hard to beat any of the prices that you see on Amazon. And, same day shipping. Like, name me a company that provides you a better service at a cheaper price than Amazon. And until people can come along and, you know, compete with them, and I guess that's the whole argument, well, nobody can. But as a consumer, the whole purpose of antitrust law and, you know, monopolies and avoiding all that is to help save the consumer. But the consumer is not hurting, you know, by anything that Apple or Amazon or Google or any company like that is really pushing. So just think about that. Stay informed. I hope you enjoyed that little Nikola update, as well as my spiel on just being an informed citizen and know what the heck is going on in the market. But before we go, today in history, October 8th, 1956, Don Larson threw a perfect game. So my Yankees are down 2-1, which is really frustrating. Giancarlo Stanton seems to be the only person on the Yankees who has shown up to actually want to hit the ball. Dude's a freak. He's slugged like 6 home runs in his past 5 games. It's ridiculous. If you did enjoy this video, please consider dropping a like, leaving a sub, and shout it up in the comments, because I do like the dialogue going with you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day.